Hello! Today I'm going to be doing my final quarterly book video of the year for you. I can't believe the final book video of 2022 is already here. However, the year isn't fully over yet, so I know I'm going to have more books to share with you. I also thought it might be fun to share some reading stats with you. So in January, I'm going to do a yearly wrap-up book video where I share with you my top books from the year as well as those reading stats. So stay tuned for that to hear about all the exciting things in 2022 as far as books. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you books I read from September until now. First, to update you on my reading goal, I had started the year with a goal to read 33 books, and I have surpassed that, so I've been upping my reading goal as I go along, and I made a new goal of reading 50 books for the year, which I think will be the most books I've ever read in a year, and I'm currently at 48. But like I said, the year's not over, so I'm pretty confident I will make that goal of 50 books. The first book to talk about from September is Treat Me Nice, an Oyster Point Mystery by Judy Getch Brodman. And this is a sequel to the original Oyster Point mystery book, which was titled She's Not You. And it was a good follow-up mystery. I really enjoyed the detail to Judy's writing. She really immerses you into the world of the book and characters, and I look forward to reading more from her. And since it's a sequel, I won't spoil things by reading a description, but if you like detailed mysteries that take place in New England, also have some historical aspects, check them out. Next was Finlay, Donovon is Killing It by Ellie Cosimano. And I kept hearing about this book on BookTube, and I'm really glad I read it. It was a fast read, keeping me engaged and entertained. I rated it 5 stars, and if you like the crime genre and books that are somewhat suspenseful and comedic, this book is for you. Getting the job done for one single mom takes on a whole new meaning in Finlay, Donovon is Killing It. Finlay Donovon is killing it, except she's really not. A stressed out single mom of 2 and struggling novelist, Finlay's life is in chaos. The new book she promised her literary agent isn't written. Her ex-husband fired the nanny without telling her, and this morning she had to send her 4-year-old to school with a haircut duct-taped to her head after an incident with the scissors. When Finlay is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts an offer to dispose of a problem husband in order to make ends meet. And I'll leave it there so I don't spoil too much. Next was The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth, and I had added this to my TBR quite a while ago and had kind of forgotten what it was about. I assumed what type of book it would be based on the title, but it's not at all what I was expecting. But I still really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars, and while I listened to it on audiobook, it kept me engaged the entire time. I kept thinking I knew the direction it was heading or what was going to happen, and it kept surprising me. I don't exactly know how to describe it, as it's not exactly mystery or thriller, but it is suspenseful, and it's also about family dynamics. A twisty, compelling novel about one woman's complicated relationship with her mother-in-law that ends in murder. From the moment Lucy met her husband's mother, Diana, she was kept at arm's length. Diana was exquisitely polite and properly friendly, but Lucy knew that she was not what Diana had envisioned. But who could fault Diana? She was a pillar of the community, an advocate for social justice, who helped female refugees assimilate to their new country. Diana was happily married to Tom and lived in wedded bliss for decades. Lucy wanted so much to please her new mother-in-law. That was 5 years ago. Now, Diana has been found dead, a suicide note near her body. Diana claims that she no longer wanted to live because of a battle with cancer. but the autopsy finds no cancer. The autopsy does find traces of poison and suffocation. Who could possibly want Diana dead? Guess you'll have to read to find out. Now on to October, starting with A Questionable Friendship by Samantha March. I rated this 4 stars. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting from the title, but I did enjoy the book. It to me could be a real-life story, and real life is messy at times, which this book reflects. It's also not all good things and happy endings. I don't normally like books like that, but this one was written in a way that made it understandable, and while I prefer happy endings, it's good to read other perspectives now and then. Bryn Ropert and Portland Dolish have been best friends since being paired as roommates in college. 7 years later, they are now 25, married, and living in Maine. But the two couldn't be more different. Bryn finds fulfillment in her life as a wife, mother, and owner of a small cafe and bookshop, but is struggling to expand her family. Portland is still coping with her mother's death during childhood, and her marriage is unraveling before her eyes. Portland envies her friend's seemingly stable and easy life, while Bryn doesn't understand the growing distance between them and cannot begin to guess what secret Portland is hiding about her husband and crumbling marriage. While one woman feels shut out, the other enters into a web of lies to protect herself. Next was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've enjoyed a number of Lucy Foley books, and this was no exception. I rated it 5 stars, and I listened to it on audiobook, and it was one of my favorite audiobooks. Each chapter is from a different character's perspective, but what I liked was that they had a different narrator or voice actor for each character, and to read each different perspective, which kept it interesting for me. And it also helped me to follow along and remember who was who. I hope to listen to more audiobooks like that. This is a mystery, and not only are there lots of potential victims, but suspects as well. They are all on a remote island together. And let's just say, at this wedding, things don't go according to plan. And I don't even think I'll read you a description. That's enough of a taste for you. But if you like mysteries, I think you'd like it. If you like audiobooks, definitely try this one as an audiobook because of those different voices for each character. Next was The Christie Affair by Nina de Gromont, I think is how you say it, and I rated this 3 stars. And as a lover of mysteries and someone who enjoys Agatha Christie's stories, I did enjoy this book. While fiction, I enjoyed getting a closer look into the life of Agatha Christie. I also found out from reading that she has an autobiography, so I now want to read that too. If you like her stories or mysteries, I think you would like this. And to give you just a little bit better idea of what it's about, why would the world's most famous mystery author disappear for 11 days? What makes a woman desperate enough to destroy another woman's marriage? How deeply can a person crave revenge? In 1925, Miss Nan O'Day infiltrated the wealthy, rarefied world of author Agatha Christie and her husband, Archie. I don't want to go any further because it'll give too much away, but if you like Agatha Christie stories, I think you might enjoy this book. Now on to Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I rated this 5 stars and I really enjoyed it. If you are a lover of Hallmark movies, I think you would really like this one. Even if you aren't, but like romance or love stories, I think it would be for you too. It has that Hallmark feel, but isn't too overly sappy. I have really enjoyed what I've read from Emily Henry so far and look forward to reading more from her. One Summer, 2 Rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all. And she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August, when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away with visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. Now up to November, I read November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I enjoyed this one and rated it 5 stars. Some parts were predictable, so it didn't really surprise me with any twists or anything like that. I don't really know how to describe her books other than that they focus on people and how they can be flawed and relationships. But if you like love stories with a little suspense, I think you may enjoy this one. Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day before her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same day every year. Then I read Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. I listened to this on audio and rated it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It kept my interest. It did have some surprises in it. It's hard to describe and I can't pinpoint exactly what I liked about it, but I wanted to keep going and know what happened. In this game, even winning can be deadly. Amy Way is proud of her ordinary life and the simple pleasures that come with it. Teaching diving lessons, baking cookies for new neighbors, helping her best friend Charlotte run their local book club. Her greatest joy is her family, her devoted professor husband, her spirited 15-year-old stepdaughter, her adorable infant son, and of course, the steadfast and supportive Charlotte. But Amy's sweet, uncomplicated life begins to unravel when the mysterious and alluring Angelica Rue arrives on her doorstep one book club night. Then I read 8 Perfect Murders, which I also listened to on audiobook. I didn't know when I downloaded it that the author is from Massachusetts, and the wife of the main character works at a cable access center, so I got excited when I heard that because you don't hear that too often. It takes place in Boston and mentions New Hampshire and Massachusetts towns. These were some of the things that I liked about the book. I rated it 3 stars. It definitely kept me engaged and interested, but it wasn't gripping or leaving me shocked or anything like that. I don't know if I mentioned too, it's by Peter Swanson. A chilling tale of psychological suspense and an homage to the thriller genre tailor-made for fans. The story of a bookseller who finds himself at the center of an FBI investigation because a very clever killer has started using his list of fiction's most ingenious murders. Years ago, bookseller and mystery aficionado Malcolm Kershaw compiled a list of the genre's most unsolvable murders, those that are almost impossible to crack, which he titled 8 Perfect Murders, chosen from among the best of the best, including Agatha Christie, and so on, and lots of authors, but I'll leave it there for you. Something I put in my notes here that I wanted to let you know about is, because I wasn't familiar with it, and I'm thinking some of you may not be, but if you're a reader and book lover like me, you might want to check out Project Gutenberg, as you can get a lot of books on there for free. Now they're going to be older books because they're books that aren't in the public domain, so don't be looking for the latest brand new bestseller there. But if you're looking for older books such as Anne of Green Gables or Peter Pan, oh, what else did I see on there? I don't know, there's lots, there's hundreds and hundreds probably. So you can go and search there for older books and they're free for you to download. So if you were looking to go back and read some classics and don't own them or don't, can't get them from the library or don't want to buy them, you can get them there and download them to your e-reader. So check it out, Project Gutenberg, for some of the older classic books. Next, I read Let It Snow by Beth Moran, and I read this for the Samantha March Book Club. We have not met about the book yet, but I wanted to make sure I got it done in time. I rated it 4 stars. It was a light, fun read and a love story set during the holidays, and it kept my interest. I wanted to find out especially what happened to the main character, B. After the end of a long-term relationship, local weather girl B. Armstrong has been avoiding her family and their inevitable I told you so's. But with Christmas fast approaching, she's finally on her way home to Charis House or Charis House, I don't really know how you pronounce it. The school in Sherwood Forest that her mom and dad ran in their old family home. And to top it all off, the insufferable Henry Fairfax, who her parents have always wanted her to marry, has also been invited. Relief comes in the shape of a last-minute interview for her dream job. There are just a few minor problems, and you'll have to read the book to find out what those problems are and how it all turns out. I read a short story that was free from Amazon called Uncharted Waters by Sally Hepworth, and it was interesting. It is also nice to have something that's quick and short to read every now and then. I liked it and rated it 3 stars, but I wouldn't tell you to rush out and read it yourself. Speak your truth. An icebreaker leads to unintended consequences for 2 strangers aboard a luxury yacht in this seductively twisty short story. When Ella boards a sumptuous charter off the coast of Australia, she feels dread. Her husband Mac, the social butterfly who makes these wellness retreats so much easier to navigate, is stuck at work, leaving her exposed to the other passengers. Luckily, she forms an instant bond with charismatic Chloe, a newly single woman salving a broken heart. Don't want to give too much away, so I will stop there. And the final book I have to share with you is The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. I rated it 3 stars and listened to it on audiobook, and it was a fun, light Christmas story. If you're looking for a Hallmark-esque book or just something to get you in the holiday spirit, I would check it out. When newly divorced Ivy Perkins buys an old farmhouse, sight unseen, she is definitely looking for a change in her life. The Four Roses, as the farmhouse is called, is a labor of love. But Ivy didn't bargain on just how much labor. The previous family left so much furniture and so much junk that it's a full-time job sorting through all of it. At the top of the closet, Ivy finds an old Santa suit, beautifully made and decades old. In the pocket of a suit, she finds a note written in a childish hand. It's from a little girl who has one Christmas wish, and that is for her father to return home from war. This discovery sets Ivy off on a mission. Who wrote that note? Did the man ever come home? What mysteries did the Rose family hold? Will Ivy solve the mystery? Guess you'll have to read The Santa Suit to find out. So that is everything I have read for this quarter. I'm currently reading, but not finished with yet, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. Again, I will do a whole recap in January. I probably won't share the few books that I read throughout the end of the year unless they are on my top books, because I'll share with you my 5-star rated books for the year, as well as some of those reading stats that Goodreads gives me. I hope that you enjoy these book videos. Let me know some of your favorites down in the comments, and I'll be sure to check them out and add them to my TBR. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope that your holiday season is going wonderfully so far, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!